Hello, everybody. Wibbly wobbly camera. There we go. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Interesting Modelling Company Sunday service. Sorry, a bit late tonight. We had one or two little technical gremlins, but we're here, and we're here with Chris and Ian. Chris, I saw that, Ian. You were dozing off there for a second. Come on.
Just as you said, right, we're going to go live before it all went a little bit wonky. We'd obviously been having that conversation. I took myself down a rabbit hole. I've been buried in the back of a bookcase over here trying to find a book I wanted to show Chris later on. So when he suddenly went, I've fixed it, I had to very quickly extricate myself from the corner, and then we lost Chris. There you go.
And we lost Chris. Chris will be back. Anyway, Ian, Chris will be back. It's his flaky internet yet again. There we go. He's back. Add to stage. Your flaky internet, Chris, isn't it?
I hope so. I hope it's me and not you. That's all.
Right. I've forgotten where we are now. Shall we talk?
I'm down south, and he's over there, and I'm up here.
We just change spots, you know.
Yeah. It's been a hot day as well. So who wants to lead with project update? Actually, before we lead with project updates, I just want to say to Chris, happy birthday, Chris. I know it's not your birthday. Not
mine, but the country. So it was if you paid attention to the right things yesterday, it was quite nice. My family made a nice dinner for ourselves, and my daughter and I went out to the park and stuff. And I watched the tall ships and the aircraft down the Hudson River on the TV, watching the commentators desperately try to keep track of what was going on, which was hilarious. I would like to say on behalf of the country, thanks to Britain for sending the red arrows, for Canada for sending the snowbirds, for France for sending the Patrie de France, and all the other participants that were there. There were aircraft from lots of different air forces, as well as ships from all over the world, which was very nice. And I think it shows that, the friendship is long lasting. The stuff that's going on right now politically is temporary.
Yeah, absolutely. I will say, Chris, that also three of us here tonight, I think we actually make up a bigger crowd than the Mall of America at the moment. So, right. Well, here, before we go any further, here is our heartfelt special tribute to the United States of America. America, America, America. Oh, I'm sorry about that.
Well,
I haven't watched that in ages. I really must watch it again.
It's just hilarious. I love that film. And the weird thing is, people assumed that they said to Matt Stone and Trey Parker, "Oh, you must be massive fans of Jerry Anderson and Thunderbirds and stuff like that." And they went, "No, we've seen it, and we thought the format was interesting, but we were never fans."
No,
but
yet it pastiches it beautifully as well, doesn't it? Throughout it.
Oh yeah.
I got to ask Jerry Anderson live on BBC Radio 5 going back 20 years ago now. And I got to ask him, have you seen Team America World Police? And he said, yes, I have. He said, I enjoyed it, but it was a bit rude.
That's like Jerry.
Which is fair enough. Fair enough. Anyway, sorry about that, Chris. I do apologize. Yeah, happy birthday, America. Awesome stuff. Right. Projects. Who wants to lead with projects then? Chris.
Well, Chris might as well.
I'll go first. Sure, I'll go first. Why not? So the ongoing saga of the AFV Club SDKFZ 232 continues, but it's getting closer to completion. You can see I've added the ammunition cartridges for the 20mm gun. I made those just out of a big chunk of plastic with some scribed marks in it, because that's all you'll see from those little doors. And the radios are in place. The radios took a lot of research, because everything in the world says this thing carried the FU-11 radio, and if you actually get a 35th scale FU-11 radio, it doesn't fit into the vehicle. An FU-12 though, that does. That's on the left there. That's from an Edwards set. And then the other thing, the FUSP.
I beg your pardon, sir.
FUSP. That's scratch built. That's like an infantry radio to talk to vehicle to vehicle. And those were installed in a place that I thought that would make sense, and given some details, some headphones, and there's a telegraph key on top of the radio. And my thinking is, and I think people have said this, that the rear driver was probably also the radio operator, because he didn't have that much to do back there. And there's actually space for these things, so I got to throw a little bit of a wash on it and get that wrapped up. There's other things I want to put in here. You saw the little tiny signal magazine. I got to figure out a place to put that. And I got to put in some canteens. I made that on my printer, shrank it way down and printed it off. And then I got to put some canteens and maybe a second MP40 in there and some MP40 ammunition, and it'll be pretty much done. Also there's a weird little spotlight that goes in that. There's a hole you can see in the top of the hull there. There's a weird little spotlight that goes through there, and there's some associated stuff with that. So yeah, must have been a fun place to be, bouncing around in the desert in North Africa. No air conditioning, no floorboard where the engine is. It just straight into the cabin, all the dust and dirt it kicked up.
I can imagine that if you suffered from any form of travel sickness, being the rearward facing occupant would not have been fun.
No, and he doesn't have a hatch to stick his head out of or anything like that. So,
what's the purpose of the extra steering wheel at the back? You probably have told me, but I've forgotten. So,
yeah, I mean, I guess the whole idea of the vehicle was you could get out of trouble in a hurry. It's a scouting vehicle, so it's we can go either direction fast. But it seems a little over-engineered. I can't imagine a German military vehicle being over-engigued. But
who knew?
I know, like that ever happens. But yeah, it had a 4-man crew. There's one guy in the turret, and there's a third guy or a fourth guy. I have no idea where he sat. Maybe he didn't sit. Maybe he had to just stand the entire time. But they drove these things around in the desert pretty much wide open, because it was hotter than the dickens. Lock yourself into a big metal box and then sit out in the Sahara Desert and see how long you last. But yeah, it's coming right along. And I test fit the fenders this morning, and it'll make the vehicle look very different, obviously, but they seem to fit okay. And then you can start piling on the stowage. So yeah, and you can see that there's some wires. There's some black wires hanging off. I figured I'd put the power sources to the radios, and also there's that wire there. Yeah, it's going to go up to the there's an antenna wire outlet that comes through the upper hull, and then attaches to that big bedstead antenna, and it's got a kind of a standoff to it. So that'll be a nice detail. But yeah, it's fun. It's fun to learn these things, and it's fun to put yourself in the position of people who had to work in these weird roles. And you didn't want to engage the enemy in that thing, because the armor was
paper thin,
right? Anything bigger than about a 30 caliber bullet is going to go right through it. So shoot, spot the British and then run away. Have the guy in the back get on the radio and then get the heck out of Dodge. So
we've got some comments here. Gavin Unit says, clean your boots before getting in vehicle. Mike Williams says, that's looking fabulous, Chris. Great attention to detail. I'll second that. And Sarah Jane says, nicely done, Chris. And Dave Fleming, lowering the tone of the program yet again, he says, speaking of FU, anyone know if the Tamiya Fuki dinos are out yet? There we go. Throw that one out to the posse there.
35th scale. You know, I could probably put that with the.
Yes.
Well, they'll probably be out in the States, so in Japan, won't they? So, and then we'll get them in about a millennium or so.
I will be pressing Mr. Farmer for one of each of those, because you need one built for Telford, OBS, and need one of each built for Telford. So
we'll see, won't we?
Yeah, a comment here, Chris from Simon Lewis. He says, Chris, the World War II airfield I mentioned last week was home to the 384th Bombardment Group.
Awesome. Very good to know. Yeah, it's I would love to go there and do a tour of some of the sites of the airfields, because there's very few left, and there's some museums that are maintained by local people at some of the sites that seem really interesting.
And Simon's also
get yourself over, mate, and I'll ferry you around.
Oh, there we go. There's an offer.
Perfect.
There's an offer. Right, Ian, you've been having a break from the normal, haven't you? You've been building armor, for goodness sake. There we go.
No, even more so. I've been building Gundam.
What?
Of course you have.
So when at the end of the last, was it a car show or the last show? I can't remember.
No, the last show was a regular show.
Yeah, I flashed this box. He says this one here, and said, "Look, I bought that." I wanted to know what the fuss was about, to be fair, and they were going cheap in the model shop I frequent, or one of the model shops I frequent, and that cost me 20 quid. It's a Bandai one, 144th scale, and sorry, my fan was flicking bits of paper around. This is it, built, assembled, built, whatever you want to call it. I've been watching videos. I've been doing YouTube, so we've been doing scribing and panel lining, and these things are the business. Don't ask me too much about what it is. It's a big fighting suit thing. It's a pink one. It's got a wingy thing on the back of it. But I actually enjoyed building it. I have ended up with another one or two for a whole host of reasons. I was on AliExpress. This one popped up, which is now it's FM brand, and it's 1/100th scale. It's obviously a bit bigger than the other one. There's very little in the way of branding on it. Is it? I'm not entirely sure what its provenance is. Someone suggested to me it might be an older Bandai tooling that they've acquired, or it may just be a copy. That's a bit chunkier. Still working on this one. He's got a bit of attitude, this one. But if you're building it and comparing it to the build on the Bandai one, see the gaps. Let me do that.
Yeah.
See the gaps and from a build point of view, absolutely no comparison to the Bandai one. Very interesting. There's a lot of Bandai esque mesh, the stuff with the instruction sheet, which made me wonder if it was in fact an older Bandai model. But I think that if it was me and I was spending my money, I would be sticking to the Bandai ones.
Mm-hmm.
So that happened. But there you go. That's a Bandai 100th scale. When you think that Chinese one came out of that box, and they're both the same scale, you get an idea.
I think we are going to have to do a Gundam kind of group build with everybody out there. Just do everybody grab a Gundam kit. It doesn't matter what it is, and let's That's all, because I've never built anything Gundam at all.
I think, I think what happened was I kept going into them. There's a couple of model shops I frequent. There's one in Crossgate, which I'm always raving about. There's another one in Barnsley, Tankersley at Sheffield Barnsley Way, which is the model workshop. Now, they both got Bandai stuff in, and I've been watching the videos online, and obviously a lot of the tools we've acquired over the last period of time from the aforementioned AliExpress come from brands who intend you to use them for Gundam modeling. So I thought it appropriate to have a go. I'd just get one for a small amount of money and have a go at it, and that's what I did. Unfortunately, this one then crossed my path, which is a little bit different. That's a lot of plastic in that box.
Yeah.
But you don't get the box set with it, but a lot of plastic. You know, so well, would it replace my hobby that I have? If you know what I mean, my cup. No, it wouldn't. They're a very nice diversion for me as in my kind of modeling, in that I was stalled with the cars at the minute. I was having a few issues with it. Build wise, if you just cut the parts off the sprue, clean them up, and bolt it together, that's an evening. I could have done that all in one evening.
Yeah.
Value for money, they're very good because the quality is exemplary. When Bandai do a thing where you have a sprue. I have one with 5 colors. Single sprue. It's all sprue hay.
Yeah.
And the way they do their sprue pairing is phenomenal.
It's very clever gating. So you can you shut off part of the sprue, and then it goes back into the mold machine, and then as well, when it's in the mold machine, another color is injected into it. It's very clever.
Yeah, to tell you what was quite amusing was the Chinese one, if that's what it is, and I don't know, I just got it from there. It has a sprue. When you pick the sprue up, you think, oh, it's the same, and then you look and it's not. It's a series of other little sprues clipped together rather than molded, injected in the mold color thing. I was like, oh, crafty. Nice, cheap way of getting around it, but very clever. I think they're brilliant. I think, if you're in that thing where it's like, I need something, just get it through my bench, do it, move it on. That will help me reset. Then they're absolutely fabulous for that.
Palette cleanser. Mike Williams asks, he says, how long did it take to build in comparison to your more usual fare, Ian? Do they offer the same value for money for time spent as more traditional models?
I think value for money is a perception thing. I think I perceive it as good value for money on the basis of I enjoyed building it. It wasn't massively expensive, and I got a result out of it that I'm happy with, and I learned some stuff. So I see that as a value for money thing. Would I? Obviously, when I'm building one of my cars, if I'm to just concentrate on one build, I'm looking, a couple of months to do some of the stuff I do. That's a different kind of value for money. There's a lot of work in them. So yeah, it's difficult to quantify it as value for money. You know what I mean? I would say for me it was. I think a group build would be interesting because it's about the finish on them as well. You watch a lot of the videos and they're repainting, they're rescribing, they're doing detail work, they're adding detail to stuff. There's umpteen, as we know, because we've acquired them, umpteen photo etch sets full of vents and things like that you can buy for them. Once you built them, they're a display piece. See Dave's asking about wargaming for them. Not that I'm aware of, Dave. They are literally replicas of the vehicles in the cartoon TV series.
Yeah. Yep.
Painting is optional because they do come pre-painted. Tell you what, let me get that Zeta back up again.
I do like this. Yeah. I do like this suggestion from Captain Magenta. Bum, 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 bum. He says, Gun Jan group build. Perfect. There we go. There we go. Gun Jan. That's a shoe-in.
The display bases are generally sold separate. That is
Right.
considering that's a display base. There's a lot of plastic in that.
Oh, goodness me.
Instructions are. This is Bandai, obviously. There's a variation called master grade. So you have standard grade. Oh,
Right.
Sorry.
There we go.
Master grade, real grade, etc. This is a master grade the car, which is a special series. Let me just flick to this. Well, didn't expect to divert us through. Look at these instructions are just logically laid out, very sensible, lots of information, how to do it. One thing I do like is you occasionally get notes like all the parts on the H2 runner have been removed. So it's then saying, now recycle your sprue, which is interesting because in Japan, and there's reference to it in the instructions, there is a process where you can send your sprues back to Bandai to have them recycled, which is what that QR code there is. It does unfortunately say for customers in Japan only. I think, yeah, I mean, this is a little bit of a special one, which is why I got it, and I got a good deal on it, so I was quite happy. Water slide decals, very nice water slide decals, actually. But coming back to what we were saying about multi-color, I don't think there is actually one in this because there's enough parts to warrant. But you see what I mean? There's a lot of plastic in there. Look.
Yeah, that's quite something, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean this one retail discounted retail was under £70, which compares well, really, with Dave's comment. Yes, Dave, probably. It compares quite well with what a new car kit's £50. You know, there's probably more plastic in the Bandai box. As Sarah Jane will probably agree with me, you spend a lot less time correcting things, but so it is. It's a. I think you look at what's going on in the Far East. That's a massive part of the Far Eastern marketplace at the minute. So it was more me just having a little, just see what the fuss is about.
Mike Williams says, maybe I've been looking at these the wrong way. I always assumed they were more akin to Lego as opposed to a model kit. No, they are definitely a model kit. And Bandai, in terms of sales, this is trivia question time here. Bandai are the biggest model kit manufacturer in the world. Their sales of the Gundam stuff, it's eye-watering. We think, oh, Tamiya and Hasegawa and all that kind of stuff. And then there's Bandai.
Bandai outsell Tamiya 50-1 in the Japanese market.
In a few years ago, I got this thing in the gift exchange at our club. It was put out in 2015, and my daughter, when we go to model contests, just take this with us and just sit around putting parts together, one by one, and there's a lot of parts. And this
is a rare little one. That one, from what I can see,
it's interesting. My daughter's I think she's built one her very first model was a non-Bandai model. It was the old Mystery Machine put up, I think, Polar Lights or one of those companies. Everyone since then has been a Bandai kit, including some of the Star Wars kits. They really are clever about how they put things together, so there's no seams, there's no obvious visible rough spots unless you cause them yourself. And there's a reason these things sell so well. It's because casual people can get into these things and not be super frustrated, right? It's not like, oh my god, this is inaccurate, I've got to change it according to this picture, and things don't fit together, and there's a huge gap here, and there's knockout seams everywhere. That isn't a problem. And in our club, there's a couple of the Reda brothers build Gundams, and they do them in ways. Aaron's painting is phenomenal. His brother did a diorama of one, a Gundam sort of on a base, a scenic base, but it was all rusty and kind of looked like it had been abandoned. And he had these little tiny 1/144th or 1/160th figures on horseback that in front of it, like they just discovered this in a forest someplace. It's like,
wow,
you can do things with these just like you can with any other model and make them special. So
yeah. The going back to a point you were making, there was a comment in there somewhere about them. They are deceptively simple. I know that sounds, because you look at the stat. They do ranges of increasing complexity. So there are some quite nice beginners ones with like 30 or 40 parts. Yeah. They're selling them in the shops for like £5 and £6 over here. By the time I was looking at a real grade 148, I think it was, at £900.
Yeah.
And it's 6,500 components in the box. So it's a figure with the back, the backpack thing, the X-wing, is intended to get you into a combat zone, and it naffs off, and you go and do your fighting. It comes with one of those and the launch bay and everything for it representing. Unbelievable. But the box was like, the guy comes in and puts the box on the desk, and it's like 2 foot by 3 foot by 2 foot box, and it's like, oh, that's a lot of plastic. And then he puts another one on top. That's because it comes with 2 boxes in like a sleeve. So like, how much plastic?
You're going to have to send me the link to that, because
I'll find you the video and send you it.
I got to watch that. That just seems largely insane. I definitely like that idea of gun jan. So yeah, it's going to happen. I might even mock up a poster, and we'll figure out the logistics of it. So yeah, gun jan is coming, folks. That'll be a good way to kick off 2027, wouldn't it? So, shall we dive into?
You want me to do these before I do? So sorry.
Yeah.
Because I've done that, I've been having a real glitch with my modeling. I'm going to be honest. I've not been very well. I've had all sorts of back issues and things, and it put me right off. And then I had to rip the loft apart because the boiler blew up. But there you go. So I did that Gundam thing on the basis of it would kind of get me back at the bench, and it has, you know. Now I'm a member of Lincoln IPMS, and they're doing a competition in September at a club, and the theme is Lincoln and Lincolnshire. So I'm building some Mark 1s. Now these are British. This is a British Mark 1 tank. So we have Mark 1 male, complete with twin Hotchkiss 57mm cannon. I've used some AML detailing parts, so the tracks are resin, as are a few other little bits on. But this is one of the vehicles.
What kit is that?
This is Master Box's kit,
right?
And it's with AML detail parts. That's better. They're lovely little kits. Having once attempted to build the MHAR one, can happily report these are considerably nicer. They do a Mark II as well, in Arras form, in both male and female. This is the SOM 1916 female. I haven't got the gun barrels on this yet. The grenade guard is separate. I've done a little bit of work on it to make it nearer the photographs I've got. This is really lovely to build. This section here, when you're putting something together and you just think, oh, someone actually thought about that. That's really nice. And I did like the little bit of photo etch to give you a bit more detail on the back of the beam. Tracks still to put on that. So these are the AML tracks, which are cast resin. Wafer thin.
Oh, goodness me.
I have to say they're not many minty though. They are just tack them down, and theoretically, very slowly, you can fold them around, and they will fold around the curvature. They're that good. What I did do with the front ones on this was I just hit them with a hairdryer for a few seconds just to get a little bit more flex in them. AML do a very nice machine gun, 3D printed machine gun set for that as well, which I'm the casements are already in place for those. So I'm just starting. There's one off the fret, and they're just a lovely. They're just a push fit. They're absolutely delightful. Those are. I got them from a company in Poland, and they were here in 3 or 4 days, which is just mad. But there you go. So they're really nice little kits. I was very impressed with those. Because I was so impressed with those, I looked to see what else they did, as you do. And
Dave Fleming says the Master Box Mark 1 is a fantastic kit. He also says I've got the Mark 2 with MHA Mark 4 female sponsons as a Mark 3. Yeah. Dave adds, okay, need to get those tracks.
Dave,
I like this little armored car in.
They just to say the AML do Mark 1 with and without grousers, Mark 4 with and without grousers. If you look on their own website, they do mail order, which I didn't realize when I bought them. I bought them from Supermodel Super Hobby in Poland, but I could have got them direct from AML. But they're not massively expensive, and the tracks are worth every penny. To be fair, Landships. Yeah, I've seen that website. In fact, that website, Landships, that Dave references there, is, I believe, that's the wrong instruction sheet. Is referencing the instructions. This is an Austin Mark 4. Mark 4. Let me get the right box. Yeah, this is the Mark 4. They do another one as well. They do a Mark 1 or a Mark 2. That took me the prints in some of about 40 minutes to put together. It's brilliant. Absolutely beautiful. Really nice. There's a couple of little bits in the instructions where you kind of go, well, that's vague, lads, work it out. Like where this thing goes, which is the planks for getting it out of if it's bogged down. Machine guns are trainable. Machine gun barrels, you can mess about with them. The machine gun barrels themselves are beautifully injected. If you can see that, am I on the right zoom there? Let's see if we get that up there. There you go. Look, that's a bit better. Look at that, nearly full screen.
Oh, that's fabulous. I like the dark grey plastic as well. That
yeah, I will say plastic. Yeah, the plastic in these kits is lovely to work with. Decent level of drivetrain detail as well in there. So yeah, quite cool little kits those. Very pleased with those. I've got some bases coming, and I'm actually going to try some weathering.
Yeah, careful now.
Yeah, no, excitable. What we're talking about, muds and stuff. I was talking about putting some mud around the tracks. Obviously, a lot of the product that's out there is intended for 35th scale, so it can be a little bit heavy on the grain for these. So it's been recommended by a friend that I use this stuff, MIG's anti-slip paste, which is intended for 72nd and 48 scale vehicles, aircraft, for the anti-slip on armor and on the weight. So it's a much finer grain. Well, that's a sensible decision, and I had some in stock, so that's what I will be doing. So I'm going to give them a coat of primer in the next couple of days. So I've got a day off. And then I will see how we go from there.
Jet Scale Model says, do you want a real challenge? Build a mini art version.
Funnily enough, I had one in my hand. I had a mini art kit in my hand and a little voice in my ear by the name of Anne-Marie went, put it back.
I'm a massive fan of mini art, but I will get around to finishing that Tempo 3-wheeler at some stage. That's been going on for 3 years now, 4 years. Yeah. We'll get around. Right, news. Right, Quinta are bringing us this in 1/48 scale. And well, this is rather colourful. This is the Sukhoi Su-31. It's an aerobatics aeroplane, as you can see. This looks rather neat. not massively complex. The molding looks to be absolutely first class, and you get Quinta because they are the people who do the, I don't know how you describe them, kind of like 3D printed seat belts and things. So you get some photo etch in the kit, a good amount of photo etch, I would say. There are your 3D printed. When I say 3D printed, I don't mean in terms of in terms of resin. These are more kind of like relief. They're like a 3D printed decor. I should have clarified that. So that's some of the interior parts and the seat belts as well. Beautiful looking clear parts. That looks absolutely stunning. Small decal sheet. A small unassuming decal sheet. And color schemes. So take your pick.
The only thing that makes me a little twitchy about that is their provenance.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Ian, I can't get around that. So I'm sure not all model manufacturers in Russia are, fully behind the regime. Let's put it that way. So not putting words in people's mouths. You can't. I don't think we can demonize a kit company because of a government. So
no.
But,
just a little bit, because we're going to have issues. We are going to have issues with bringing them in if someone tries to bring them in, aren't they? That's the only problem.
Yeah, I can imagine.
By Zvezda at the minute.
Yeah. But look at this molded detail. Looks absolutely stunning.
Doesn't
really
it?
Does look.
Wow.
Really does look beautiful. Very, very neatly done. And here we have some build-ups of the kit supplied interior.
It's quite nice.
That's really good, isn't it?
Yep. They're also doing decals to follow this up with. So they're doing the Sukhoi 31 around the world. So we've got, that's quite like that one.
There's quite a few of these in the European aerobatics circuit, isn't there?
There is, yep. There is. I like that shell one. I think that's Aeroshell. I think that's nice and neutral. So I like that. And you get some 3D printed and some resin bits and pieces as well, some extras. So that's Quinta Studio. I think that looks really quite spectacular. Obviously, it's a personal decision whether people want to buy and build one, but I'm intrigued. Let's put it that way. I'm intrigued. The next one tonight, hopefully a little less controversial. That shouldn't be, actually, no, I'm going to qualify that. It's a model kit. It shouldn't be controversial. When you think that we're buying model kits from countries around the world which don't exactly have brilliant human rights records, I think, yeah. Sorry, we didn't need to get a bit.
I was saying you're going to have issues around. I mean, someone's just pointed out, Hannah seemed to be able to get Quinta and Zvezda, and there's a couple of people saying their Quinta aren't Russian. Their head office when they started business was in Moscow.
Yeah.
Because I had some of their products when they first started. I believe they may have relocated out to Kazakhstan.
Yep. There we go.
But you just
there we go.
There'll be some people for whom it's an issue.
Yeah, Russell Taylor's clarified that. He says Quinta is in Kazakhstan. So,
but it was just a comment.
No, fair enough. Right, let's move on to the next news item. This is, oh my goodness me, this is a beauty. This is Mr. Design. It's a name that's new to me, and this is the LVG B2. LVG stands for Luftwaffengesellschaft. You can tell I don't speak German. I barely
I'm glad
speak
you
English.
said that, not me.
I know, barely speak English. These were flown by the Bulgarian Air Force, the Royal Danish Air Force, the German Air Force, and the Turkish Ottoman Air Force. This does look pretty neat. They're doing this, they're doing this in 30-second scale. Very interesting
So
looking
that's
aeroplane.
Austro-Hungarian, isn't it?
Somebody in the comments.
That one, yeah,
that's definitely, that one's definitely Austro-Hungarian. So yeah, that's rather cool. Oh,
yeah. Here are some pictures. Here's one they made earlier. So here are some pictures of some of their other kits that they've done. So they've done this in 48th and 24th. This is the Roland D3, and there we go. There's the 24th scale boxing. Looks superb, 3D printed. Yeah, and that's a Gert Whopper, isn't it? 24 scale.
Get a good grip on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't let it go.
That's right. It'll fly off by itself.
There we have. I'm presuming I can't remember if that's the 32nd scale and 32nd scale and 24th, or whether that's 48th and 24th. I saw somebody in the comments will correct me on that. But yeah, these look really nice. Like I say, it's a new name to me, Mr. Design. But we'll post the links and everything. Well, I think we have posted links up on the Facebook page. But
so did you say this was 3D printed or injection?
No, it's 3D printed. If we go back to let's go back a couple of pictures. There we go, Ian.
Oh dear.
Yep.
Wow.
That's quite nice.
But I think this is kind of showing how 3D printing really is starting to kind of match, the levels of detail.
Yeah, you're right. He has got an interesting grip on that.
Yeah, he has.
The engine's running.
It demonstrates the two grips you can use when you're about to throw your model across the room.
Yes.
Kind of reminds me of my doctor before he says cough, please, sir. So this looks lovely. This looks absolutely brilliant. So folks, that's Mr. Design. They're on Facebook. Go and give their page a like. I don't think you'll be disappointed by what they have planned at the moment. Right, moving on. Chris, I think this is right up your street. This is another new name to me, which is SX Art. And I think this is done in conjunction with a company called Acura Miniatures. These are 3D printed again, 3D designed and 3D printed. But they are doing across 30-second, 48th, and 70-second. They do a lot of figures, and I've only chosen kind of like 4 tonight. But yeah, you go onto their Facebook page. We've put the link up on our Facebook page. These just look absolutely fabulous. So they're doing this one, which is USAAF ground staff technical work. Then then they're doing this one, which is US Navy. Then they're doing World War II bomber crew in action. And there we have, this is ground crew mechanics in 30-second scale. Oh no, that was it. That was it. But they are doing all these also, like I say, across the other major scales. So I would imagine for somebody like yourself, Chris, who likes 70-second scale, these will be right up your street, won't they?
Very heartening. No, it's good to see this because there's been a plethora of figures of German crews, and there's lots of British crews out there because people in Britain are good at this stuff too. But for whatever reason, the United States Army Air Force personnel have been kind of in short supply, which is weird. Not like we didn't do anything in the air in World War II. And I like to see that there's it looks like the Marine set is nice too, because that's a distinct uniform.
I'm trying to work out what the reference to BBC is on those descriptions.
I I think that's probably. I'm assuming that's probably a Cyrillic translation of something. I don't think it's Auntie Beaver's doing anything with this. So I mean, I don't think Chris Packham's involved. So
am I seeing there from Quinter as well?
I can't.
The link you've got in the description says Quinter Studio.
Oh yeah, they sell them. They sell them. So
VVS. Yeah.
So and there's your bomber crews. Like I say, they're doing these across the 3 major scales.
Have that one guy there for your ball turret.
Yes,
he'll be very visible. That's impressive.
Yes. But
really
yeah,
impressive.
Fabulous stuff. Again, I mean, you go, like I say, the link is on the Facebook page. Go and have a look. There is a gazillions of sets that they do. So I think it's encouraging because, again, it's showing how technology is kind of moving our hobby along a bit. It's
yeah.
I think it's great. I say this pretty much every time we're on this show, but what a great time to be a modeler. It really is. Andy King, there we go. Andy King clarifies BBC is VVS. So and Jet Scale Models says there's a wonder why you don't have Dave Fleming on. You should get Guy on one day. Dave, the invite is there. And a couple more people have pointed out BBC is VVS. Oh goodness me, that's some people in this country have a field day with that. It confirms their worst suspicions, Ian, that the BBC are Russian-funded. Yeah, exactly. A little bit of
Russian, or was it Russian Air Force?
a little bit of politics there. He says in his best Penalton voice.
Yeah. Well, apparently everybody that's not a Republican's a communist after the other night. But there you go.
Oh yeah.
But there you go.
Let me move on. Res Kit. And those of you who cast your mind back to when Revell Monogram and indeed Pro Modeler, as was, released the 48 scale PBY. Now, I remember when the PBY came out because in the UK, this is 1996, 30 years ago. But when the 48 scale PBY came out in the UK, it was £19.99, which I remember thinking at the time was quite incroyable. I was going to try and dig out my photographs of one that I built for Ron Firth's magazine, but I didn't have time tonight. But sorry, was I interrupting something?
Ron Firth's magazine. Yeah, I mean that's a blast from the past.
Ron, yeah, he's a lovely guy. He got me into writing. So, but anyway, but one of the bugbears of the Revell Monogram PBY was the tail, the fin/tail, and it's massively too thick. How they managed to miss that when they were doing their R&D on the kit, heaven only knows. These things happen. But yeah, there we go. There's the original kit at the bottom, and there's the res kit replacement at the top, and it's almost twice the thickness it needs to be.
Yeah.
Didn't Belcher do a resin tail?
Can't remember. Somebody in the comments will no doubt.
Yeah, I think it was Belcher.
Yeah, Lox9 says that tail will cost you an arm and a leg and a tail, obviously. But yeah, and also
it's Dave's comment above it that's got me.
Dave Fleming says I have a great voice for typing. Yeah, absolutely. He has a great voice for typing, and I have the perfect face for radio. So yeah, there's a match.
There you go. Yeah.
The other thing that they're doing are corrections for the engines. Now, having built the kit 30 years ago, I didn't really appreciate all the errors in the kit. But apparently, the engines are canted slightly wrong as well. So there's the original kit at the bottom, and there is the res kit replacements at the top. So there we have the new engine pods. for the kit, and there they are in place. And yeah, this is all good stuff from ResKit. Simon Lewis does ask the question: is the Revell monogram Edward one of the same kit? Yes, it is. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yep.
But yeah, so if you're building the, I keep wanting to say Revelogram because that was the that's what we used to refer to Revell monogram at the time. But if you're building this kit, you may want to invest in one of these. It's not cheap, but yeah, it's going to make a difference, I think.
It'll make it look right. It's a spectacular model when it's built. That's why you can overlook the flaws so easily. But yeah, if you really want to make an accurate one, I think this is a great way to go. But yeah, great subject too. Very underappreciated, I think.
We were saying earlier, I got one when it came out originally as a pro modeler in the States. I got mine from Bill Costa, and because he was going on about, I'm going to do this and that and the other for it, and turn it into non-amphibs and things like that. And I don't think he ever actually got around to it, which is a bit of a shame, really. Because
there's a lot of possibilities with the Catalina. You could do a PBN Nomad with a really tall tail, and I remember as a kid building the Cousteau PBY.
Oh goodness me!
There's some subtle differences if you want to make a Canadian built one as well as an Acanso. That would make a nice little conversion as well. So. Be good.
Yeah, I remember the Revell Cousteau's PBY. I just remember seeing it in the catalogue and thinking, because in this country, as you'll probably remember, Ian, back in the 70s, we used to have the BBC used to show Jacques Cousteau's programs.
Yeah,
we were absolutely glued to them. And
were the Cousteau shows in the UK when they aired them? Were they narrated by Rod Serling?
No, I think these were.
I think they may have had an English redub on them.
Yeah, we had Rod Serling over here, which is really great voice. But,
I've got to do that. I'm just having a quick look. Dave Fleming, future star of this show, Dave Fleming. He says, I wonder if there was a dodgy set of PBY drawings as the engines were dodgy on the Academy kit.
Yes, they were.
And Clara, apologies if I got your name wrong, Clara73 says the corrections for the Catalina are costly, but the errors I just can't unsee.
Yep.
Right. If anybody can point out anything wrong with our next subject tonight, good luck, really, because this is amusing hobby. Now, this was announced some time ago, but they've only just got around. Apparently, they've only just got around to releasing it. This is 48 scale. It's the Messerschmitt 239. I seem to remember Toad Resins may have done this again 30 odd years ago. Make of this what you will. You're either going to be thinking, that looks fun, I'll have a go at that, or as some people do, they go, what a waste of plastic. I don't. I think anything like this, if it engages somebody to build a model, it's not a waste of plastic. So,
right.
They've done a Blitzer as well, haven't they? The Buckwalk P1.
The kind of the vampire looking aircraft. But that was released about 2 or 3 years ago. This was supposed to be released at the time, but apparently it wasn't. So quite interesting. It's kind of like almost a flying wing, but not quite.
Looks like looks like the proof of concept aircraft for what was in Indiana, or the Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember that.
35 years ago, I'd have been wetting myself waiting to build that. Unfortunately, my taste moved on. So It'll be a knowing and using hobby. It'll be a beautiful little model as well, because I've seen a couple of their armor kits and they're lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do like the look of this. I mean, it's not something I'd be itching to build, but I can understand that for some people, they're going to see that and they're going to yes, that's them. I mean, yeah, it's a bit like the 48 scale A12 Avengers, the flying triangles. I still want to get one of them, even though the thing never actually flew. I just want a model of it. But yeah, this, like I say, it's slightly kind of flying wingish. I do like the pusher propellers. And in terms of color schemes, knock yourself out. You know, you can free reign.
Make it up as you go along. Yeah. That's a big slab of plastic, that wing as well, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, when you see it from head on, that's...
Yeah. Oh, blimey. I believe there was a night fighter variant projected as well. So if they do that, that'd be quite interesting.
Yeah, but yeah, this was announced in 2022, but apparently not released until now. I think in the slim chances that I ever got round to building one of these, I'd actually have great fun in doing it in Air Ministry markings. Have it as one of Eric Winkle. Have it as an Eric Winkle Brown kind of like ride. So it's a what if, isn't it? So imagination's the limit. But I do like that. I think, like I say, there are some people who don't like these Luftwaffe 46 kits, but I think anything that potentially engages somebody, I don't think it's a bad thing.
No, I'm with you on that. They do some armor 46 subjects as well, some of which are absolutely phenomenal. Beautiful, beautiful kits. So if you want to build it, you're going to be able to build that one and do it nicely. Going back to my era of doing the 46 and stuff like that, I had the aforementioned Toad resins as kind of my primary opportunity. It wasn't quite the same. So
no,
we'll just move that one on.
Russell Taylor, very good point, Russ. He says reminiscent of the F7U Cutlass. Mike Williams says I'd add squiggles over a Splinter camo on that. Mike would, and he would use one of his pens as well, one of his ink pens, which is what he used for the Wellenmuster camouflage on his, was it Heinkel 177?
Rebel one.
Yeah.
The Rebel one, when he built it, I remember it vividly. It was wonderful. Excuse me.
Yeah, and Russell Taylor says do it in US Navy markings. Yeah, I like the thought of that. I like your thinking, Russell. Right, we are just going to dive sideways a bit for a moment because we've got Vingtor, and I've just suddenly realised we've missed a massive news item out, but we'll do that towards the end. Vingtor, this is Nils Massethrud, who is just, professionally speaking, his decals are absolutely peerless. His levels of research and attention to detail, absolutely stunning. This is a set that he's doing for the P3B Orion Norwegian ones, 72nd scale. So this is going to be the Hasegawa kit. Yeah, I don't think I need to add anything to it because you can all see this is going to be top dollar.
Yeah. No, so it's really nice, and then the heartbreaking thing for me is that so many great P3 schemes, including this one, another set of good ones. I'm going to build one. I've actually got my propellers in my hand right now to start working on one. And of course, I grew up near a P3 base, so I'm building one from there. But between these and the CP140s and the Iranian ones and just the Japanese ones, they all make for beautiful models. And I really admire the way he's done the wing walks. That's very cool. And just the attention to detail in the sheets are really quite astounding. So exciting. If only I had space for like 9 or 10 P3s.
You need an extension for 9 or 10 P3s, though, wouldn't you, my friend? Let's be fair. I mean, that isn't a small aeroplane.
We're just gonna pop out the back of the house and build a room for P3s.
Yeah, like those like the mobile homes have, where it kind of slides outside the building. Yes. I'm unpacking the P3s, love.
Yeah. Extend a house. But yeah, it's right on my desk. P3 propellers, ready to go. So,
bit of quick boost. Right, quick boost.
Yeah. I've got all kinds of goodies for P3s, and it came up on my random subject selection system this week. So, and I've got one picked out called the city of Sunnyvale, which is where my father lived, and was right in the flight path of Moffett Field, where the P3s were based. And as a kid, they flew over my house like every day, multiple times. So. A fantastic subject. P3 is really great, and I think we've actually. I think Jonathan, you and I were once on one show. We're like, oh, we could use a new tool P3.
Oh, Drew and I have had this conversation at Cosford, because every time we're at Cosford and we see the Neptune there, and we both look at each other and go, yeah, I could do with a new Neptune kit. You can't run out of color schemes with the Neptune, and the same with the P3 Orion. You can't up there. And we're both being served. We're both being served as modelers. We are being served by two kits now, which are over 50 years old.
Yeah. I think Russell's just said the Hasegawa P3 came out in 79. I've got a gut feeling it was before that, but if it is 79, I'll take that. But I mean, that's still 45 years ago, and the rest.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, and I remember building a Neptune. Japanese markings with jet pop. That's a long time ago.
Yeah,
and but don't get me wrong, they're great little kits for their time. But you're right. I mean, when now was it ICM that did the Herc?
No, it was Vesda.
Vesda did that Herc a couple of years ago, and you kind of looked at that and thought, now is this the beginning of some new? Rather, and then obviously circumstances. And they've never gone back to it. We got a J, didn't we? I think, and then it was about it. But it would have been the logic progression is okay. Let's do other stuff from that. So a P3 would have been a good one. A Neptune and all those other kind of things that we could have. But I don't see that anybody's coming back to what we've just been talking about, the amusing hobby Luftwaffe 46 thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's Big Planes kits. BPK did the P8, and then they're doing a series of 737s, and they're doing the wedge tail. Hey, Electra.
Maybe they're the people then.
You could do Electra. You could do a P3 and then make some changes to the fuselage and make an Electra, and then do
They've just announced. I've just seen something this week about an Electra. I meant to say to you about it. I can't remember what it was. That might have been them, actually.
Well, I'll have to do
someone doing a conversion for the Hasegawa P3. I think
that would be cool. There's somebody in Southern California did an Electra out of the P3 kit that was just astonishing. Changing the fuselage and the nose and everything else. And it was just a beautiful model. But that'd be a lot of work.
Russell is absolutely correct. According to Scalemates, the P3 Orion was 1979. But Russell also says the Hasegawa Neptune was issued in a frog box. It dates from 1972. So there you go. I kind of split the years and aggregated it to kind of mid 70s. So
I had the frog box Neptune in my hand in a model shop in Pontefract sometime in the mid 70s.
Mm-hmm.
I put it down and bought a Revell Lancaster.
I've got up in the attic, I've got a Hasegawa boxing, might even be an original Hasegawa boxing of the Neptune. I got it from Antiques, goodness me, 1989. I think they were selling it for about £1.50. And I thought, I'm having that. Thank you very much. And
How did they know how to run? They had to run. They had the B-47, they had the Neptune, they had the P3, they had the H-8K, and they did the Emily and the Mavis, And
the modern
and the
float plane as
MiG-47.
well.
Yeah, they did a whole slew of very big, and the Shin Meiwa, right? That's right, Ian.
Which I can't pronounce. That's why I got you to do it.
The PS1. Yeah. So they had a whole series of really big airplanes in that 70s period, and it's a pity that nobody has picked up the gauntlet since then.
No, I think
Revell did some big stuff, big German
they did.
stuff.
I mean, what did they do? They did an
The Viking.
The
Viking,
the Viking, the
90, they did a Condor, and then
the 177 that we were talking about that Mike built. They did some nice German World War II stuff. I think that we're not seeing outside of people like BPK that bigger subject matter now.
Yeah, and I understand why, because if you make a Mustang like Arma does, you'll sell like to the same modeler 7 or 8 kits, but nobody's going to build 7 or 8 Shin Meiwa PS1s, right? It's a kind of a one and done market, so I get it. It's rough, but by the same token, they do build into spectacular models. If you can make a buildable one, people will see it and want their own. You can spread out that one and done over a lot more people.
Jeff Baker makes a good point. He says X-Scale do the P3 on 144th, and they're scaling up their Hawker Siddeley Trident to 72nd scale. So maybe possible venture for them. Russell Taylor says, don't forget the Hasegawa 72nd scale SP5B Marlin. And Agent Dave says Revell did the Breguet Atlantique as well, which is a beautiful kit.
Lovely kit. Yeah, really nice. And it's hellishly difficult to lay your hands on now, by all accounts. Which is a shame. I didn't know someone was doing a 72nd scale Trident. I've missed that.
Yeah, that was.
Got to watch the show more regularly, Ian.
Yeah, you got to watch the show, Ian.
Right. There would be a rude gesture there, but people are watching.
Are they? I hope so. Right, last couple of items for tonight. We're going to do an update on this. This was the APX 3D kit, which originally they just posted the undercarriage, which I erroneously thought was a Heinkel 162. What a fool. And they're going to do it in 72nd, 48th, and 32nd scale, late summer release. Then they tease this, which is a propeller and a set of tails. Definitely not a Heinkel 162. It is a Slingsby Firefly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Great subject.
Now,
not very far away from where I'm sat.
Well, 250 built. The Slingsby T67 Firefly, originally produced as the Fournier RF6, is a 2-seat aerobatic training aircraft built by Slingsby Aviation in Kirkby Moorside, Yorkshire.
Can I just correct on that? It's Kirby Moorside.
Oh, Kirby Moorside.
Kirby Moorside.
Kirkby Moorside.
Pronounce the K. You don't pronounce the second K. You'll get. It's a bit.
So is it Kirby Moorside?
There are 2 Ks in it, but you don't pronounce the second one, so it's Kirby Moorside.
No, there's only 1 K in this one.
If you read your bit of written down, it says KIKBI. Anyway,
oh yes. Right, yeah. Sorry. So so it's Kirby Moorside. Sorry. Welcome to Pronounced English Pedant's Corner tonight, folks.
Don't worry, because I'll get you on with Slowit later. That'll do you.
Kirby Moorside, Yorkshire. Now, quite a few users of these, including the Royal Air Force, have flown them in terms of contracted, like a contract thing that they bought into. But amazingly, the US Air Force have flown these as well. So more color schemes than you could throw a teacup at. So absolutely brilliant stuff. So there we go. That's the mystery of the Aeropox, but yeah, Apropox. Yeah, the mystery of their kit solved. Now, we mentioned Mini Art just now. There we go. It's the Mini Art corner of the show, and they're doing this in 48 scale. They're doing RAF bomb trolleys Type C Mark II. Now, when I was writing up the notes for this, I erroneously just assumed this was ICM because I thought, oh, these are all the bombs that were in the Hamden kit, and they're releasing them with a trolley. No, it's Mini Art, for crying out loud. So, duh. So,
would that be? Are they the right weapons load for your Hamden? Or is that more Handcaster with that?
No. In the Hamden kit, I think because ICM did a load of British bombs, they just put the sprues in, and there were a lot of leftovers. I'll take a photograph at some stage and show you all the leftovers. But yeah, so this is Mini Art. So there we go. You got different bombs there, 250 pounders, 1,000 pounders, a cookie at the bottom. So you get the trolley as well. And there are your bombs. Absolutely brilliant. This will sell absolute gangbusters for them.
Yes, it's a very, very sensible release.
Yep.
Because do I recall seeing that they're doing some airfield tractors as well?
I think we covered them on the show last week. So yes, they are. Yeah.
So that makes logic, because then there'll be a set with the tractor.
Yeah.
Coming as well on those.
Yep, these look absolutely brilliant, and we've got some sprue shots as well. Oops, a daisy. What's happened there? There we go. Sorry, it just disappeared for a second. So we've got some sprue shots as well. There's the cookie, and there's your trolley. I mean, this, to be honest with you, if you are suffering from a bit of kind of modeler's block and you just want something to breeze through, you can't go wrong with this.
Yeah,
you just get a good sense of achievement, really. So yep, loving this. As it may not come as a surprise to you folks that I am a massive fan of Mini Art. I love them to bits, and yeah, this I think is going to do very well for them. So
I don't think you're wrong. I think that's spot on.
It's something, any bomber you've got, any bomber will carry the cookie, I guess, would work with that. But yeah, you're right, Jonathan. Just building those things up, you get them done fast, and then you've got them standing by for use. You can bankroll your vehicles and accessories for the time you have a brainstorm for a great diorama, and it's great to have them ready to go.
It's interesting. Sorry.
No, go on, yeah.
It's interesting that comes at a time when they are slowly increasing their 48 scale aircraft lineup as well.
Yeah.
Because they're just their 190D11 is just hitting the market now, or in the simpler form without the ludicrousness that came with the other ones. So it's interesting. It'll be interesting to see if they're then looking at that and going, whether we're going to get an aircraft from them that's appropriate to.
Yeah, sorry, what was that kit you said that's just been simplified?
They did a 48 190D9.
Oh yes,
which was only available in the high grade.
Yes.
The D11 has just come out, and it's a standard grade, so it's not got I think it's photo etch and some other bits in the high grade one. So.
See, I thought about their P47s because I really fancied a crack at one of the basic kit. But when I saw the basic kit, it's still massively involved.
Still mental. Yes.
Yeah. Right.
There are degrees of mentalness. Dave Swindell's just pointed something out. The Happy Christmas Adolf text on that decal sheet that's in that is from a photograph of a mosquito.
Mm-hmm.
Can we have a nice 48 scale Mini Art mosquito, do you think?
Now
that is wibbly wobbly.
We've just had a recent Revell one, haven't we?
Have we?
Yeah.
Okay.
About a decade ago. And I can tell you something about the Happy Xmas Adolf was included in the Epics bomber resupply set.
Oh, there you go for your 72nd scale mosquitoes.
I wonder how you know that, Jonathan.
Right. And Roy Sutherland says to be followed up by their 48 scale Sterling, the perfect accessory for their bomb trolleys. I can dream, can't I?
Can you imagine how well that would sell? But can you imagine the parts count A milliard sterling.
I think somebody at some stage is going to do a 48 scale sterling. I can feel it in me water. Right. We're going to do. I'm going to bump the last item for tonight because we do have a new story that will run last of all. Actually,
sorry,
no. I'm not gonna. I'm gonna run this one the right way round. This was supposed to be one of the first stories that we're going to run tonight. But as some of you may have seen, Mr. Dale Luckhurst, formerly of this parish of Airfix and Hornby, has now joined Heller in France. So Glow2B, they're the people who own Heller, appoints Dale Luckhurst as head of brand for Heller. I got to say, a brilliant move, because Dale is he's absolutely brilliant when it comes to marketing. So it's a good move for him, but it's a very good move for Heller as well. So I think when you've seen how, because Ian, you and I have got some of you've got the little Renault, haven't you? And I've got the trailer, and how they've improved things recently. And they definitely seem to be on the up again. So good move for Dale. He's a good guy. And
Peugeot, by the way, not Renault.
Peugeot, sorry, not Renault. Peugeot. Yeah.
I've seen a lot of them built up, as well.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them built up. So that's good news in itself, because it means that people have bought it.
Yep. But yeah, this is terrific news. Good to have Dale back on the scene again. So yeah, really, really pleased for him. So, and hopefully we'll try and get him on the show once he's settled in at Heller. We'll try and get him in on the show. So
yeah.
Right. And finally, those of you who tuned in last week may have seen that one of the kits we featured was an inflatable Sherman tank. Can we go better than an inflatable Sherman tank? Yes, we can, because we can do an inflatable aeroplane. Now, this is it's not from the same company, it's actually from a different company. And this is from a company called Surgical Precision. So that's SURGI capital KAL Precision. And they say, we will be releasing this dummy decoy L5 scout plane when we're at the Philippine Scale Model Show on the 30th of July to the 2nd of August 2026. Options from 72nd scale to 35th scale. So we've put the link up shared the link on the Facebook page. So there we go. This is Surgical, and they're doing a inflatable L5. There is the actual thing.
Dave Fleming, you are a star.
Oh, what's he up to now? That's very good. Darth Bilious, actually, even better. That's the Starfix Mustang.
Yeah.
That's a bit rough on Starfix, but
oh dear.
But yeah, look at this. This is absolutely brilliant. Again, a palette cleanser. If you want something to just paint, don't have to worry about masking clear parts out or anything.
Nope.
Looks like you can even get away with painting your own markings. They don't have to be that neat. But again, this is 3D printed. But what a fabulous idea!
You could have your L4 parked next to your inflatable tank and have like an inflatable staff meeting going on between inflatable generals.
Yes, we just need some inflatable figures to go with it now. Although slipping into Ben Elton mode, I think if you wanted some inflatable figures, you could just get some politicians, ladies and gentlemen, because they got an inflated sense about themselves. But thank you very much. Anyway,
bit of politics.
Yeah, a little bit of politics. Brilliant stuff. Absolutely brilliant. I'm going to say it, chaps. What a time to be a modeler.
I know. Here we are in year 54 of the hobby dying.
While you were talking, I grabbed my calculator. The Sterling wingspan is 99 foot. So
Yep.
48 scale, that would be 24.75 inches across, which means that a mini art kit would have 24,750,000 parts.
That was the thing. That was the thing that sank the Sterling as an effective bomber, because they curtailed the wingspan so that it would fit within the standard Royal Air Force hangars.
What was the night fighter? There was a Hendon bomber, the Sterling, and there was a big twin-engine night bomber fighter thing. That
Not the Hayford.
No, that might have been the Hendon. Actually, I'm gonna have to Google that now. I remember reading an article in the Sam aeons ago. I think Mr. Huntley might have been involved in that one.
Mm-hmm. Dave Swindle's on tonight.
Yeah,
he says no leaks. That would be a letdown. So that's absolutely have yourself a BBC 6-part commission to write your own comedy show. And Lox9 says, look down there, inflatables, we better blow them up. Yeah, I think was right.
Have you seen I presume you've seen the new Dad's Army film?
Oh yes, yeah.
That features inflatable tanks, because they were a thing, genuinely, obviously. So yeah, there's quite a bit on the South Coast.
Yeah, I watched that when it was on television a few years ago, and there is, I've forgotten what the line is now, but it's a kind of like a on and off film for me. I can see what they're trying to do, but it just doesn't quite. It's too iconic for me. But I can't remember what the line was, but it was something that Wilson says something. Bill Nye says something, and Mannering says, there's no need to use foreign words, Wilson. And it was, I can't remember what the line was, but it just made me laugh. It was pure Dad's Army.
Yeah, it was written in a complimentary way to the TV series.
The men are getting very lax, sir. There's no need to use foreign words, Wilson. And I just thought that was pure Crofton Perry, that was.
Yeah.
Right. Any other business?
While we are on the subject of 3D, someone said about 3D printed seatbelts. There you go. These are for cars. These are by Kit's World, 1/24 scale, and they actually do have depth to them. And as has been pointed out, you can't. They don't have their own adhesive backing. You float them and then you fit them with a bit of PVA. But they're I've got a few more. I say I've got a few sets of these, about 10 now, because I actually use them almost exclusively in my GT cars now, because they're just so easy to use.
No.
And I'm rather impressed with them. They're better than the photo etch and bits of tape route, which is utterly faffy. These are just, they're good. They're nice. I'll tell you what, the resolution of the print on them is really good. And the range of colors and belt brands. And they also do some NASCAR ones, if you're into that kind of thing, which I'm not.
Those look great. Those look fantastic. And like we said last week, Jonathan, we talked about how the seat is the focal point of an airplane model in the cockpit. I would think the seat would be the focal point of any race car, especially an open wheel race car.
With an open wheel car, yeah. The thing with the saloon car, the GT type racers, is you need something in there that looks like it's got seatbelts on it. Do I want to spend a week making photo etch belt buckles up and stringing? And no, I don't.
Yeah,
so
it's character building.
I can use those really easily.
Yeah.
15 minutes, I've done them.
Right.
A modeler called Francois Verlinden, you might have heard of him, on Plastic Wings, his book, he says something to the effect of, when it comes to aircraft cockpits, the seat tends to be the focal point. And I remember as an impressionable 19-year-old reading that and thinking,
I'm sorry, you were never 19.
I was.
Yes.
Anyway, Any other business? Any other business? Come on. Any other business?
I've not got much. Mr.
Chris, I
Mr.
can sense you've got something.
I really don't. I
okay.
finished I read an article this week about finished an article this week about the use of the PV1 and the Aleutians. Appropriately enough, I'm parlaying my model building into articles. That'll be coming out sometime soon. I'll let everybody know when that happens. But lots of interesting information. And digging through my stuff, I found a bunch of contemporary clippings from pilots in the media, with long quotes given to reporters who were kind enough to write them down verbatim for me. Because 80 years on, it's nice to run across that stuff almost by accident. Things like the airplane losing its hydraulics and having the engineer grab everybody's coffee and orange juice and pour it into the reservoir to get the flaps down. That was the last thing they needed, to get the flaps down. The gear came down, but the flaps didn't. So they poured any fluid they had on the airplane into the reservoir and got just enough juice to do it. That's interesting.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Probably screwed up the airplane, but who cares? It was already shot up.
Sorry, Sarah Jane says, any news on the Porsche 917 Longtail 1/12 scale model, I think by BMAX?
They showed prototype parts at Suzuka. We actually had a couple of photographs on the last show, but it's still in 3D prototyping. Unlike the Mazda, which I'm told is press 3 test shot at the minute. So we might see that before I need to stop modeling because I can't see anymore. So, but I allegedly, and Sarah Jane will know full well what I mean around BMAX when I say allegedly this year.
Right. I'm just going to say my other business is a reminder to some of you is that this time next week, well, obviously it'd be earlier in the day, it is the North Somerset Model Show, Sunday the 12th of July, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m, being held at the International Helicopter Museum in Weston-super-Mare. So not only do you get a model show, but you get to see all the helicopters as well, which is great fun. So some of you I may see there next week. I'll tell you what, Ian, we'll do a car show the week after. So we'll keep it to.
I think that's possibly the plan, though. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll do a regular show next week. Hopefully, fingers crossed, I might have actually got a bit more work done on the Hamden, because it's crawled along this week. Anyway, and Chris's cat has, this is the League of Cats, this is, because it's turned up on Chris's cat wanting Chris's lap wanting attention. Mine has been padding around the office/workshop here. It wants attention. So on that note,
the show must be over then, if the cat says.
Yeah, I get one thing, but it'll wait till we do the car show. Actually,
we'll do keep it for the car show. So big thank you to everybody who tuned in tonight. Sorry I didn't get a chance to read your names out, but thank you so much for giving up an hour and a half of your lives tonight. Incroyable.
Rubbish. Well, though, don't we? Let's be fair.
All that modeling time. Hopefully you watch and listen as you're building.
That's exactly what that's what we're going to advocate, is have us on in the background. So so until the next time, it behoves me to say thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay out of trouble, and we'll see you very, very soon. Bye bye, everybody. Bye bye.